Rents are up in the Portland metro area by 39%. I don't think so. I'm Ron Milligan with RE/MAX Select here in Portland's Pearl District, and what I have for you today are some rental numbers. The reason for this video is that I had some very good clients of mine reach out to me yesterday to have a conversation about what they should do with their home. They bought their home about 5 years ago, and they're having some 2008 mortgage meltdown flashbacks. They're worried that the market is about to crash and go down in flames just like it did in 2008. And after going through a lot of the numbers to explain and show how the positions of homeowners today are very, very different from the positions of homeowners in 2008, 7, and 2007, 8, and 9. And that's a completely different video, and we'll get into that later. I'll share some of the major differences that will show why this is a very, very different market from what we were experiencing back then. But my question to my clients was, what are you going to do if you sell your home? Are you going to move into a bigger home? Are you going to move out of the area? Are you going to move to maybe a bigger home that's with a smaller price tag that's further out of town? Or are you going to just give up on home ownership and enter the rental market and wait to see if this market crashes and then maybe buy something when it's really, really cheap? And they didn't have an answer. They hadn't gone that far down that road. But one of the things I pointed out to them are some of the experiences that my buyers who are moving to the metro area have been experiencing, and some of my investor landlords have been experiencing as well. So buyers moving to this area, often the advice is take 6 months, rent a home, let's explore the metro area since you don't know it very well, and then find you a house to purchase, and you'll be much happier with that home a year later when I chat with you about it, versus if you just come here and bought straight out of the gate. I understand that some people simply have to do that, they don't have any choice, but the buyers that can take that, are okay with moving several times and we're fine with moving into a rental, they've been having a really, really hard time finding rentals in the metro area, especially when it comes to single family homes. Often they're putting in applications for homes straight out of the gate, sight unseen, and some cases offering more than what the landlord is asking as far as rents go. And they're competing with lots and lots of other applicants and not getting properties. It feels like the housing market, but even a bit worse. Some of my landlords have had experiences where they purchased properties. I had one who purchased a property, put his property on the market before he actually took possession of it, just because he was worried about getting a tenant, and was getting just inundated with applications from folks who hadn't even seen the property, and they were offering more than he was asking for rents. Even when he had done a survey of what other landlords had been asking for similar properties, thought he knew the market value, put it on the market, and was getting pushed above that. And in some cases, some of my landlord clients were experiencing, tens and tens and tens, like 20, 30 plus applications for renting single family homes. The apartment market's a different story, but I'm also seeing that tighten up considerably as well. So I thought, let's find out what happened in the last year with rents in the metro area. Did they really go up that high? The first thing I came across was a study by Redfin, which is a financial tech, fintech company come real estate brokerage. They're kind of new to the scene, and I think that they're trying to get their name out there nationally with sort of sensational numbers here, because they were saying that in the Portland metro area, rents have skyrocketed by 39% versus the previous year, and I'm just not buying it. It just does not feel right. I'm not buying it at all. When we look at the entire nation, 39% put us at the top of the rent increase pyramid, above tons of cities in Florida and Texas, like Austin, Texas, where they were getting like 35% appreciation, or over more than 30% home value appreciation year over year last year. Severe housing shortage, I just couldn't believe that we were getting more rents, had a higher increase in our average rent costs in Portland over Austin. Just didn't make sense to me. Felt like sensational, felt like clickbait, click here, This is a sensational story, and we want people to see our name and say our name. I also checked out, when I searched a little bit further, a survey from Rent.com, which is one of these places when you have a rental that you want to rent out yourself, you can list the property there and find a tenant. And they were estimating that prices rose from an average for listings on their site in the metro area from $1,000 a month to $1,600 a month on average. And that would represent a 54% increase in the average rents in the metro area. And that seems even worse. So I did a little bit more digging, and I did find an article in the Washington Post that was closer to what I was seeing for national numbers. I saw some CBS numbers and some CNN numbers that were saying nationally rents increased last year by around 15%. That felt a little more realistic to me. Crazy, really, really high, but more in line with what I've been hearing and seeing. So anyway, the Washington Post article was quoting a financial analyst company called the CoStar Group, and they were saying that in the metro area from from the first quarter of 2020 to the first quarter of 2022, rents went up by 11% in the metro area, and then they broke it out by county, saying Washington County was 17%, Multnomah County was only 5%, and Clackamas County was 15% increase in the average rents. So that felt probably more in line with where we are, but keep in mind that for much of 2020 and 2021, there was a moratorium on rent increases in the metro area. So folks who were in position and not vacating one place and moving into the next place, their rents were held solid. So that maybe feels right to me, keeping in mind that the lion's share of those rent increases probably happened after the rent moratorium was lifted. What the truth is, I still don't know. We probably aren't going to know for another couple of months until we get some more reputable sources giving us numbers for the balance of last year. But the truth is probably somewhere in between 11% and 39, 54%. I don't think it's up here. It's probably a little bit lower. So anyway, that's the numbers I have for you today. If you have any questions or any other really good sources that you found, I would love it if you would share them with me and throw them in the comments down below. And then as always, feel free to subscribe to this channel if you like the information and like this video. I'll be talking to you soon.